Yo, what's up everyone? Thanks for joining back on the Rare Candy YouTube channel. It's me, Zach Lesage here today. Word up. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I got my back wall. I had it, I was doing some guess renovations to this office, or I guess redecoration is a better word. Anyways, I hope y'all like it. I think it's a little fun. Maybe I'll do a tour about it in the future or something like that, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out overall. Cleaned up my office over the holidays. I know I've been a little absent on the channel. I know Eric and I have been doing some stuff in the back end. But here we are. We're back. And we are here with an expanded deck profile today. And I'm going to be doing a PTC Geo playthrough of the deck as well. Got the Aggro deck. We had J Dubs. He played this deck at the Richmond Regional Championships. Well, my memory is it's a shaky one today, and yeah, he played at the Regional Championships, won the Regional Championships. Next week was Portland. The deck kind of went whoomp, but now it's back because it gained some new tricks in Cosmic Eclipse. It did gain Vileplume GX. It did gain Malolana. And it did gain Cynthia Caitlyn. So a lot of cool gains for this deck. I really like it. And it's probably one of my top picks, if not my 100% top pick for Dallas Regional Championships coming up in about 2 weeks from filming this vid. So let's jump into this deck profile. I don't want to keep you waiting too much. I think I can probably explain how this deck works a little bit first, and then we can go into some individual cards. So first and foremost, we got the Rowlet and Alolan Exeggutor GX. There's a debate online whether it's Egg Row or Row Eggs. Depends on whatever you want to call it. I'm happy with either. I think I go with Egg Row a little bit more because it's more fun, but Row Eggs is probably a little bit more correct in terms of how it's spelled with Rowlet and then Exeggutor, but I'll leave that up for you to debate. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is it Egg Row? Is it Row Eggs? Whatever it is, we're mostly playing this card for super growth because it's kind of like Forest of the Giant Plants printed as a free attack on this 270 HP beast. So what are we evolving here? So we're gonna evolve this Oddish into a Gloom, the weed Pokemon, and we're gonna turn it either into a Vileplume GX, or a Vileplume. So normally I want to start off the game with shutting off my opponent's item cards that they could play, and it will shut off mine as well. But if you look at the ones that we play 1 Computer Search and we play 4 Pokegears. That's it. So plus side on that, Trashalanche, Garbodor with Trashalanche is not going to be doing too much to us. It's going to be light. And then we got Vileplume here. So your opponent's basic Pokemon can attack. So a lot of decks just have a lot of basic Pokemon. If you look at something like Ultra Necrozma or Turbo Dark that doesn't play Weavile, or even if they do play Weavile, you have some outs. Then we got Vileplume GX. So you deal 30 from each of your Pokemon. So as they struggle to attack your Pokemon, you could be healing. Remember, Power Plant does shut this off. Don't get yourself in trouble by playing your own Power Plant and shutting off Fragrant Flower Garden and trying to use it. But we do have Massive Bloom here. It does a 180 minus. So one of those weird attacks that does 10 damage less for each damage counter on this Pokemon. But if they're struggling to set up under item lock, or if this is kind of secondary attacker, it's pretty cool. And Allergic Explosion GX can paralyze, burn, and poison your opponent's active Pokemon in a pinch. So this deck gains some new tricks like that. Basically, all it comes down is to you either attacking with Row Eggs while healing around with Malolana and with Fragrant Flower Garden. And this very beautiful card. Or we completely lock our opponent from items and then stop their basic Pokemon from attacking. And then the Gloom has the benefit of being able to peek into your opponent's hands if their bench isn't full. You have to get heads by all means, but that's not the most ridiculous ask here. And we could even put a basic Pokemon. So let's say they're just chilling with a Shame in there. You could kind of steal it out of their hands. A lot of opponents don't expect the Gloom, or you could fill up their bench for them so they can't play those cards even if they get around Power Plant. So lots of cool stuff. So let's start it off. I think 100% this is the best Oddish. Stun Spore. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. That's all we need to know. If we look at the other Oddishes that we have available to us, which we actually have a few decent ones, this one's just healing 30. Who cares? This one is doing 10 damage. Who cares? This one can poison them, but we're not really worried about the damage. This one does damage, and this one can absorb. So I guess the biggest thing to look through here is if any of them had different weaknesses. But I think for the most part, they're all weak to fire. Some of them have resistance, so if water became big out of nowhere, or like a big water-based Pokemon, you might want to change that up the night before, but that's about it. Then we got Stage 1 in Mega Evolution. So jumping into the Gloom, I think Irresistible Aroma is one of the best abilities we have in the expanded format. People are sleeping on it, and even other lists I've seen, they'll run a different copy of Gloom here. I think there's one that confuses with Stinky Sense. I'm not really using the Gloom to confuse anyone. I'd rather just like peek in their hand and see what we have there. Then we have some other Glooms as well. So this one has resistance. You can make them confused, but again, it's for 2 energies. So there's nothing that's really changing here. The retreat cost is 2. Some have 1, but I'm not really worried about evolving it because you could always retreat your Oddish first before evolving it. So don't put yourself in the trap. As we went over in the strategy for this deck, we got the Vileplume here, and the Vileplume is going to stop our opponent's basic Pokemon from attacking. Then you just attack them with Downer Shock over and over again. It's a slow grind, and this deck can be quite boring to play, but it is very powerful, and your opponent can't do much in most cases. Vileplume GX, like I said, it's kind of our big attacker. It's really efficient with Massive Bloom, and it does 180 for 2. That's one of the best attacks we have, especially when our opponent's cut off with so many resources of items and their basic Pokemon can't attack, and then we're just kind of walling and healing and power plants. We could do some decent damage out of nowhere. And then Allergic Explosion GX has been able to save my butt in a handful of games as well. Vileplume, we're not really attacking with this, but it's really just a shut off your opponent's items. Usually want to go with this one first because that's really going to hurt your opponent a lot. Next up, Route Eggs. Like I said, super growth into either Vileplume, or Vileplume GX. Wow, that's a mouthful of Vileplume. And I did check, there's not very many great Blossoms that I would consider in this deck. So if you're like, oh, you forgot about Blossom, Zach, it's one of those things that it's just like, it doesn't really fit in with like a, kind of what we're going for with this kind of style of deck. All the other Vileplumes are very important. And the Vileplume GX is it's just cool. It has the GX, so we can actually play like a 5th Vileplume, kinda. And then we can go with Calming Hurricane as well here, jumping back into the Rowegs, that is. You can power this up 150 if your opponent's not being able to really get set up here. And then you can go Tropical Hour GX. I haven't been able to use the extra bonus on it yet to shuffle all of their energy back into their deck, but it could be something that we would see in Sword and Shield expanded in the future. I could see a deck like this playing like a 1/1/1 Rillaboom or something like that. So kind of like looking into the future a little bit, that might be a way to get it done, either in expanded or standard. But yeah, I think it's really just doing 200, 150. We're attacking with Vileplume, the basic blocking one that is, or the Vileplume GX. So really simple mechanics, but it can be complex because this deck does require some foresight. Moving on, we're going to be jumping into the trainer supporter stadiums that we have in this deck. So starting off with Computer Search, this is arguably one of the best ace specs that we have in the game because you can discard 2 cards from your hand and then search your deck for anything. In this deck, we're using this card within the first couple turns to be able to search out whatever we want in order to try to complete a lock on our opponent. So whether we need to Mallow and Lana our Oddish into a Rowegs to get off a super growth, locking them out of items turn 1, that's how this card would work. Or if we need an energy in a pinch or a power plant, whatever we're missing, this will help us get there. And then we got Pokegear 3.0. This deck is really just so we can get our turn 1 Bridget going on. This will allow us to complete that as soon as possible. We also have some other supporters. As you can see, we have AZs, we got Bridgets, we got Brock's Grit, Cynthia Caitlin, Faba, Guzma, Malolana, N, Steven's Resolve. So lots of cool stuff going on there. We could search out a lot of things with Pokegear 3.0. Then we got Power Plant, shutting off GX's and attacks. It sucks that we can shut off Vileplume GX's ability to heal our Pokemon, but sometimes you gotta give it away. Your opponent's gonna be trying anyways to counter this as much as possible. So before you play Power Plant, make sure you heal. So heal, then play Power Plant. Your opponent's gonna try to counter it, then heal, then drop another Power Plant is the correct order of operations to go that way. I know it can get a little bit tricky, especially if you're just like kind of going through the motions in a game or anything like that. But Power Plant seems, it's one of those plays that might get you. Just keep that in mind as well. AZ, this is really to heal one of our Pokemon, or let's say if our opponent brings up one of our Pokemon, like they bring up a Rowag with no energies, we could just lift it back up. Then we got Bridget. Bridget's really can search for our Pokemon. It says search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX or 3 basic Pokemon. The cool thing about Rao Eggs GX is that it's a GX Pokemon, so you can search out for a Rao Eggs, an Oddish, and an Oddish. No problems with a Bridget because this card did not future-proof itself. Of course, why would it? It's from 2015, and we got Rao Eggs chillin' 2019, 4 years later. So Bridget would not know that GXs are coming out. And even if she did, it's one of those things where just decided not to, I guess. So that works out really nicely. We got Brock's Grit to be able to search back our cards, or if our opponent were to discard enough of our energies, we can get back all of these Pokemon however we like. So that's pretty cool. It also avoids you from decking out, so that's a plus. Cynthia Caitlin's it's arguably the biggest add to this deck, because this deck is kind of bland, and you sit there and you're like, okay, I'm going to do something, and I'm going to pass. Cynthia Caitlin allows you to give you access to up to 4 more of your supporters. So in a deck like this that can't run VS Seeker, because Vileplume is going to block them all off, Cynthia Caitlin allows you to get back other supporters that you might want to use more of. So let's say if your opponent's like playing Ultra Necrozma, for example, and they play 4 Double Dragon Energies and 2 Unit Energies or 2 Prism Energies or something like that. Faba can take away all 6 in a game now. It will require 8 turns to do that because you need 4 Fabas. Then you need to go Cynthia Caitlin, get it back. Cynthia Caitlin, get it back. Faba. But it was something that was just not possible before. So now you can completely lock some decks out of games, whether it's like Faba or just extra healing or anything like that. It's really awesome. And we do have other cards banned too. We have Lusamine banned and other ways to get things back, especially under item lock. Moving forward, Faba, we have, it's just, if they have a tool on a Garbodor and they're trying to get out of item lock, take it away. If they're going to beat you down with that special energy and they're a Zorak deck, for example, take it away. Or if they have a stadium card in play that's really bugging you, maybe they play a Chaotic Swell and they're just trying to bump your power plants, take it away. So we got all these options available to us to take away with Faba. This deck is pretty much a control deck. Kind of, yeah, I'd say it's a control deck, attacking control deck. So Faba is really helpful in this case. And then we got Guzma. So you can switch one of your opponent's Pokemon with one of their active Pokemon. Literally playing 3 copies of Guzma is busting this deck. I might want to go to 2 copies of Guzma. Actually, yeah, let's go 2 copies, and let's just do the live edit. I think Malalana is good to especially be healing, especially with Vileplume GX being such a good attacker. Guzma just bringing up our Pokemon, getting out of a switching effect or anything like that seems really cool too. Then we got Malalana, so we could switch, which kind of takes away from our need for AZ. And we also have the potential heal benefit. If we discard cards, we can often discard extra copies of Steven's Resolves or extra copies of Gloom that we just don't need later on in the game, or cards that we can't even play like Pokegear 3.0. And they took away Reset Stamp in our expanded format, so we're dealing with the aftermath of the ban list, and allows us to shuffle our opponent's hand into the deck. So even if they get a bit of a quick start on us, or if they're just drawing prize cards naturally, we can end them and put them under item lock, which is never a bad strategy. So if your opponent's chilling with 1 card in their hands and it ends up being an item, you might put them in a position where they just like draw, pass, draw, pass, draw, pass. That's where you really build up the momentum with this deck. It's just really countering every single thing that your opponent can do. Then we got Steven's Resolve. It's really weird playing this card, and I've actually been like really digging a lot of decks that have been playing Steven's Resolve lately. Like I recently played in the League Cup with Florges, Dalstall. I played super quickly, like lightning fast as possible. But Steven's Resolve is one of those cards that it's kind of gaining back some popularity. I think it's awesome. So searching your deck for 3 cards and putting them to your hand can definitely just allow you to grab those energies, get supporters set up for next turn, grab that Faba, the power plant, whatever you need. This allows you to get the search and the control that you want. And then we just play 8 grass energies. That's just an appropriate number so that we can attack with attackers. This requires 3. This requires 2. This requires 3. So like that's enough for every single Pokemon to attack. Then we have a Brock's Grit for good measure. And we can get Brock's Grit back with Cynthia Caitlin up to 4 times. So like technically we can have like what, 8 plus 8 times 5 or 8 times 6, 8, 16, 24 or sorry, 8 times 6 times 5, 30. So we can have up to 38 energies into this deck with the Brock's Grit if we were to if our opponent discarded all 6. So if our opponent's playing some kind of wacky mill deck, we can get around it. Geez, math is hard sometimes. So yeah, this is the deck. I want to play a couple games with it and really show y'all where I'm at with this concept. I did play this out of League Cup recently. The list was not as well refined. I played it with like Pidgey Odo still. I just don't think it was necessary. There was a lot of things where I was like, oh, you want to know what? I feel like I just took JW's list from a couple months ago and I did some slight changes to it, but I didn't even play 4 Cynthia Kaylin at the time. I didn't have Malalana in my list. Didn't have Vileplume GX. So there wasn't a lot of foresight for me in that case. So I'm really happy that I've improved the list, put in a lot more effort with this deck online and in real life. So let's check that out. And one more thing before I want to give you guys a little bit of a gift here. PTCGeoStore.com. I don't know if you know them, but they totally help us out here at Rare Candy. We love them, and I love them as well. They've helped me out a whole bunch, and they have some great prices on some PTCGO code cards. So we got those over on the site, and as a bonus, you could put in a code RARECANDY, so RARECANDY on the website at checkout, and you can save 5% off your order. So that being said, let's just jump into these games and see exactly how it goes. So let's go swoosh right in there. Okay, so we're gonna call the flip, and what's bear? Who cares? Do you not care about bears, or is it just you're all about the bears and we're not worried about it? That's how cool the bears are. All joking aside, what's up? Nice to meet ya. And woo! We started with the Raw eggs. Let's get it. Hopefully we can get a little oddish, little bulb homie. Let's see where we're at here. Okay, so they're playing ADP something. We'll see what they're probably gonna get off the nest ball. So looks like, okay, so they're playing ADP Burbs. I'd really like to set up the oddish that blocks their trainers. Oh wow, they're playing Lily, the Vileplume that is. So just getting that as set up as possible. Oh, when they're going in with Max Elixir, it's a good idea that they're playing all of these at once. Hopefully they just pass. What was that from? Oh, Viridian, I think. I wish it said like your opponent is playing Viridian, because sometimes I just get like lost when like a lot of things are going on. So it's our turn. Top decked another Cynthia Kaylin. So you want to? We're gonna discard a grass because we have a few grass in our hand, and we're gonna grab them. We only have 2 oddish, so our chances seem pretty low of getting it. I really don't like this situation at all, because I don't like my chances of 2 out of 45, so that's 1 in 22, and then we're searching 3 cards, so it's 3 out of 22, so we have a 1 in 7% chance. So we're not looking good. We're looking at like what I think like a 15% chance if I'm doing my math correctly. I've been off on math, so don't trust me on that. I'm just going to attach a grass energy to my Raw eggs, and this is just a really bad start. I need to go with Steven's Resolve. I think we have a much better chance. So we're gonna go for a Bridget there. A Bridget, a Power Plant, and I'm just gonna grab another Stevens. That sounds cool to me. So let's see what our opponent does here. Maybe they'll just use their GX attack. Normally I don't like them using their GX attack. I like them using Sky Legend GX to try to clear off the board. But maybe they have a different plan here and they're just trying to knock out less Pokemon. So we'll see what they do with this turn. It's not like they're playing like a ridiculous amount of items. I just don't want them to have an out to Vileplume if I just have 1 Vileplume left. Oh wow, so they're not using the GX attack, so it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. And let's go for the Bridget here. So let's go Bridget for Oddish. Let's put down another Raw eggs because I don't think they're actually going to knock out anything. And we have the Malalana and we have Guzma. So let's start building up one of these Oddishes. Let's put a power, thank you. I hope I have a good deck. I really like another Grass Energy for next turn. So I'm actually just gonna Guzma and get one back before I decide to play the power plant. I wish I didn't attach the Grass Energy to Raw Eggs. That's probably an oversight on my behalf, but whatever. Let's do that, and let's go for Super Growth. Now, we're not going to be powering up evolving the one that has the energy on it, because we want to stop them from playing Stealthy Hood as soon as possible. So they could Guzma this, and that would be really tough. So maybe they just have Guzma. So if they go Retreat, then Guzma. Maybe they'll just go for Altered Creation, or maybe they'll just go for Ultimate Ray. Perfect. So trying to get built up so they could snipe some pokes. They're probably just going to power up this Burb. So this is very similar to the standard edition of the deck. In standard, they usually play it with greens, so it's kind of a cool concept. Really like the art on this card. It's super, super cool. I don't really want to discard two. Probably should have kept that Guzma. Okay, let's discard that. Heal. And let's go Super Growth. So we're gonna get out this one, and this one's gonna be untouchable. I really would have liked to get one more whatchamacallit. I really would have liked to get one more Oddish setup with an Irritating Pollen. But yeah, that's realistically all we can do. Okay, so we'll see what they're gonna get off Skyla. If they get a Guzma. Oh? Do they know about Vileplume? Are they... Trinity burns the 210. Maybe we'll get a Lucky. Okay, well, we do have access to Guzma. And I don't know if our opponent has access to Guzma, like, what their plan is. Because they can get 1, 2, 3... I think I really just want to end here and get a fresh hand. Ew, that was not the freshest hand. I'm kind of searching for Grass Energy. Super Growth, literally, there's nothing that I can evolve any of these Pokemon with. But apparently PTCGO will let me look through my deck. In normal tournaments, I don't think this is possible because none of these Pokemon can evolve. But I'll just peek through again. Make our opponent wonder what's actually possible in the realms. I think they're going to be happy that they're going to be drawing a prize. 3 prize cards here. So we'll see exactly what they decide to do here. I just need to make sure that they can't knock out this Vileplume. And I want to start attacking them with this Vileplume. Okay, let's... see what's possible. Malalana's not going to do anything. I think I might be able to just go Cynthia Kaylin to get back to N. So I'm going to discard one of these Glooms. Actually, I'm going to discard one of these Bridgets. One of the the Bridget, I should say. Just because it doesn't have any bearing on the game. Let's get back this N. It didn't really help us, but we can end our opponent next turn. Hopefully they just don't explode or anything like that. Let's pass here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prizes total in play. Oh, they have Eevee. Do they have a fire energy? Like, do they play Flareon? Huh. So we need to basically heal this big time. AZ was probably a good top deck there because we no longer want that. Let's send that up, and hopefully our opponent cannot get around it with their Eevee. That'd be really bad for us, honestly. This matchup's becoming way weirder than I thought it would. I played against a very similar deck to this at a League Cup. So John Lawrence, a local Pokedad, pretty awesome dude, was playing Ho-Oh Triple Burbs, and this is kind of like me going through a flashback. See exactly what their Eevee is going. Oh, you can search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon that is the same type of energy. So like, I just don't know if they, like, maybe they do play a fire type Pokemon. Like, that'd be a cool way to get around Vileplume, and then that would make this deck a little bit more viable. But maybe they just play Jolteon or something. Okay, let's N here, because N seems busted. They will have 3 cards in their hand, and I need to get an energy. Please get an energy, Zach. Please, please, please. Oh. Insano Busto. And this is where the deck kind of takes off. Like, I know this game's not looking very hot for us, and I'm hoping our opponent just doesn't play Guzma or just can't get out of it, or something like that. Let's just go Downer Shock. If I could Guzma up this Eevee, I'd be very, very happy. Very happy. So let's see. They're evolving Lightning. Are they going to search? Do they play a Lightning type? What? That's not cool. Tantalize and switch. I don't know if they're going to go for Headbolt for 110. Okay, let's go Cynthia Caitlyn. Let's discard one of these other Vileplumes. It sucks that we have 2 Oddishes prize, because then this matchup would feel a little bit better. Search your discard power. Yes. We'll discard this Vileplume because that doesn't matter. Maybe we could have discarded Bridget. I don't really care. Let's go Malolana. Let's go Downer Shock. So our opponent has an out. It's pretty good out if you ask me. So they're slepping. Oh, why did they do that? Oh, why is it so tough? Okay, let's do this. Let's discard Bridget for a copy of N. Okay, this isn't really helping me, so I'm just going to get that in case I need to, like, Mallow and Lana in a couple turns. We have to get pretty lucky with Downer Shock here. I think we're in an awful position. Okay. So far, not bad. If we can get past this Jolteon, I don't feel... Okay, Brock's Grid is actually probably a very bad card for them to play. Just because it puts more cards back into their deck and takes away an option, and they're still asleep. Can we make them asleep one more time, or confuse and they get tails? So they're confused. If they get Tails, they literally just get knocked out and will likely just lose this game. Their best option, I think, here is to retreat. Oh my gosh. They got it. Let's try this. This is looking bad. Sometimes when your opponent has the outs, If they have an energy, they could retreat. Yeah. Well played. It's all good. Okay, whatever. Let's jump into another game. Okay. Let's go. Okay, let's call Tails. I won the flip. Yeesh. I think I'm probably playing against a mirror match. And maybe this is a case where the Vileplume GX is just strictly better, and if they don't play Vileplume GX, then maybe we're in a good spot. Since I'm going first, there's no point in playing down Oddish because we can always make that decision on our first turn. So let's see what our opponent's playing. Maybe they're playing a weird grass deck. Grass, Gladion, Enhanced Hammer, Plumeria. Yeah, looks like a different grass deck actually. Can't tell what it is, but definitely drawing a couple extra. Thank you, deck. Still not playing nothing down. So if this Pokemon would be knocked out from attack, flip a coin. If heads, the Pokemon is not knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10. Who needs... Actually, I should probably bop. They only played grass Pokemon, so I'm just going to discard the power plant, considering, yeah, nothing to get back, unfortunately. Grab some stuff there. I'm just going to power up the other grass one. I'm gonna power up, sorry, the Vileplume that they can't attack, because I think they might just be playing quad Heracross. I'm just gonna pass there and see exactly what our opponent does. And we gotta switch every single turn, so we probably want to power up 2 of them. Oh, they play Crushing. Okay, so we want to actually power up the other Vileplume first. That's so annoying. This is such a weird deck. Sub Darkrai Glurak. You're not playing Darkrai, I don't think. You're definitely playing some wacky Heracross deck. Ooh, and we got some Skullgrunt action in the background. That's a fun card. Okay. I'm assuming they're probably gonna end their turn, considering they did a bunch. Maybe they're still deciding. Oh, they're going in with Sycamore. Okay. N seemed like the better choice. Heracross Virizion. So far it's basic deck. Actually, we don't need to power up 2 because Pitch doesn't even do anything. They can't even attack with Pitch. That shows how good I am at this game. Let's do this. Let's power this up. So attach. Let's evolve. Before I go into anything, I want to see if we can find out anything more about our opponent's deck. So they got Plumeria, Professor Sycamore, Fighting Fury Belts. Probably should have attached Fighting Fury Belt because that card's just not going to be able to be played this turn. I'm going to go Cynthia, discarding a Bridget's, and I'd like to get back a Brock. I'd like to get a Brock's Grid at some point. Not an option so far because I think they're just going to Plumeria. Let's go Super Growth and evolve Gloom there. And evolve into a Vileplume. So they can't play down any of their trainers. No more pesky Crushing Hammers. But again, they only play grass Pokemon, so I'm a little bit weirded out. So we'll see exactly what they're doing. If they just like pitch this, I'd be pretty happy. Maybe they'll go Plumeria then pitch. Yep. Goodbye, sweet energy. Goodbye. No. So how many energy is that? That's 2 gone. Like I said, we have access to like 38 energies. I'm not worried about it. And we get to choose. So we're going to choose this Gloom. But we'll see what our opponent top decked here. Pretty sure we're going to find out. Okay. So they have the Sycamore. We have Vileplume, so they can't use Pitch no more. And we have this. I think I want to play N, but I'm not sure. So our opponent doesn't have Guzma, so we could play N that next turn. So let's actually, I'm just going to... No, I might want to play Brock's Grit. Let's just play N this turn. That's the best play. Not the greatest hand, but we did get Steven's Resolve, so we have outs. Let's see if we can get something out. Sleight of their hand or learn more about their deck. These Irresistible Aroma heads have been flames. So we're going to be doing some less damage anytime we evolve. They have Acerola. So this might be one of those random long games, but I'm in it for the long haul. Let's destroy this deck because that's what I want to do. I want to sit across from opponents at Dallas and feel comfortable that we can get over it. Last game, if our opponent did not play Jolteon GX, it would have been a freebie. So our opponent was ready for it. But if our opponent's not ready for this matchup, I feel pretty good about it. So I wouldn't worry about it. So if your opponent's playing any kind of tech, they might be able to beat you, like the Weavile GX and stuff like that, in dark decks, but otherwise they might not be able to. Nice, they had Guzma. Ooh. Are they gonna retreat and hit me for 50 and pitch me? Maybe they're gonna hit for 30? I'm so confused. Okay. So, why don't I go for N again? Yikes, I probably should have not gone for N again. Wah. Grass energy there. Because this hand's deadish. Irresistible Aroma, not going to be able to peep into their hands, and let's pass. So it should also be known that we have 6 prize cards in play. I'm trying to stop that. See what our opponent does here. Also, since our opponent's just chilling as in time because it's going to be some dry commentary, I'm pretty happy. I got this chair fixed over the past week, so shout out to my dad. I had this chair since Toronto Regionals. I don't know if you can see that or whatever. Toronto Regionals 2018, and it broke, so... But now since we fixed it, it can go super high up. It's like I'm riding a truck, so it's wild. It's like Trucker Zach. And it spins around and everything, so... It's kind of fun. Okay, so they decided to bring up that Vileplume. I'm actually happy with this. Because now they can't use Pitch no more. I'm going to put another Oddish down. I want to see what they have in their hands. And at this point, I might as well Faba away their Potown. Because that card might be annoying if I decide to evolve. So, we got that. Let's just go for a big pass because that's all that's happening here. It's a pass-worthy game. So, me probably playing an N prematurely is causing us some pain here. But I can get a Vileplume GX and kind of heal, so I'm not that worried about it. Vileplume GX seems kind of busted in this matchup. Okay, so they're going to go Sycamore. They might actually, like, deck out because, like, I feel pretty good about everything so far. Like, they've played 2 hard Guzmas on me. And Pitch is kind of an awful attack for that. They're going to reduce their damage by 30. I could still fob that away. They can't use Pitch no more. Okay, let's see. Nothing there again. Let's just take care of this Aether Paradise. We can see what they have in their hands. We still have Guzma, so we can get out of a few more things. Let's just pass there. We've used 2 Cynthia Caitlins, so we can only get back 2 more supporters. Do you want to keep that in mind? Okay, so they have Plumeria. They're going to take away another energy. We might have Brock's Grit prized, but that's only their 3rd energy taken away, and we still have access to 5. We already have 1 attached, so we still have access to 4. Discarded a Misty's Determination and something else. I'm going to hold on to Power Plants just to bump like an Aether or something like that. I'm just going to chill. There's no point of outbooming Bridget. I want to see what's in their hand though. And Sycamore. They might use Sycamore. I'm more excited about decking them out this game than anything else. I think that's a real possibility for an alternate win con. Okay, so we know that they top decked Gladion, and we know the card that they're going to get off Gladion, if they play it down, is the card that they have in their hand. So we don't necessarily need to go with Gloom. Their hand's still going to be N fighting Fury Belt Sycamore, and their hand's still going to be N fighting Fury Belt Sycamore. We could try for Irresistible Aroma to fact check that, but I'm not really worried about it because they literally just have to end. There's nothing else they can do. We did get Steven's Resolve though, so just if we do get heads, we could see if we're correct, but it's still going to be N fighting Fury Belt Sycamore. Let's go Steven's Resolve. I would like to get a Vileplume GX out because that sounds good. I'd also like to get Brock's Grit. Actually, I don't want Brock's Grits yet. I want Grass Energy, and I want Stevens. So, fun stuff, fun stuff. Just want to make sure we're set up. We'll see if they do anything with their top deck. They play Sycamore. We'll find out. If they go past, they have an unknown card in their hand. Okay, so they're going to go N. That's probably a good turn for them to use N anyways. We just used Steven's Resolve, but like, is it a big deal for us? Probably not. Like, we got a Cynthia Caitlin, which is cool. We got a Power Plant to get past their Aether Paradise conservation area. We got an additional Vileplume. I'm not particularly worried in this case. And they're down to 14 cards in their deck while we're at 25. So if they don't play, like, they don't have that many more outs. Let's see what they have in their hand before we decide to do anything. Nope, we have access to trying to see what they have in their hand again before they decide to do anything. So their hand's dead. They have Fighting Fury Belt, Max Elixir, and Grass. Cool. So I know that we can do that. I know that we can go Cynthia Caitlin, discarding a Rao Eggs, because Rao Eggs is a card that's easily discard fodder. And we can get back something. I think I'd rather just get Steven's Resolve so I can control the rest of the game. And if we end up getting some cards we need, that's nice. We did get another Cynthia Caitlin, which is cool. Unfortunately for us, we didn't get everything that I wanted to get this turn. So we're just going to pass. I'm going to leave that spot open just in case. But I really want to get a Vileplume GX out and maybe just another Irritating Pollen. But I'm probably going to leave the last Gloom as is. So we'll see what our opponent, if they play a card. So far we don't know what they played. And yeah, their hand's big chillin'. Cool. Let's go see what they got for their turn. Not gonna find out. We're not even gonna start attacking them yet because I want to start setting up. I'm pretty sure they don't have N, otherwise they would have played it. So we have Vileplume. Brock's Grits, and I really don't care about anything else here. We have Cynthia Caitlin in our hand. Let's just grab an AZ because that seems doable. And as of next turn, we can start attacking them, and that's when the matchup's going to be not good for them. So, Team Flare Grunts. Geez, they really want to take away our energies. So there's an energy there. So we know they got a Team Flare Grunt this turn, because they would have played it last turn. They got Energy Retrieval last turn. So their hand has 3 trainers and a grass. So you can see how, as I was saying in the vid, that earlier on in the vid, that it works out like that. That your opponent just gets a bunch of trainers in their hand, they can't do anything. We do have a power plant in play that's going to stop our Vileplume GX. But I could eventually just like Faba that away if I really wanted to. I just want to go for like Downer Shock. I probably will Faba away the power plants. We should have 2 Fabas left in the deck. And they're a Slep. They're slepping. So I don't know what our opponent's gonna do to get around this. I don't think they play like we play Brock's Grits. I'm actually just gonna Cynthia Caitlin, discarding a power plants to get back the Faba. I think Faba sounds like it's gonna be pretty grand to get back. Of course we got a Faba with our Faba, because that's how it goes. Let's see what our opponent drew for their turn, if that's a possibility. You can check every single turn if we want. I'm kind of at a point where it's just like regionals are slow anyways. Let's oh, they're not knocked out because of guts. Yikes. I just would give up on Irresistible Aroma at some point, especially if time was getting low in the game. You want to make sure you have enough time to complete. So obviously they top deck Acerola over the past few turns. I don't think they have a way to avoid deck out. I'm looking at everything that they have here. They can't use pitch, so I'm sure this is fairly annoying. Let's go Faba, discarding the power plants, because we still have another power plant. And let's just start healing our pokes, because we don't want them to attack them. So there's a bunch of healing there. That was real cool. And then we're going to go Downer Shock. So we're at 10 cards in our deck. Our opponent's at 11. We still have Brock's Grits. We can still put cards back in. I think we'll be able to finish the game before our opponent will even come close to decking out. But if they do get lucky with their guts flips, anything's possible. And I don't know what this deck is like at all. It's one of the random expanded decks that we're somehow seeing pop up, so. They had another Guzma, wow. They're gonna hit for 90? We also have Malolana, so like, good on them, I guess. Like, I hope they know that I just literally have like infinite resources. Okay. Let's go Malolana. Let's discard that. I don't really care about Faba at this point. Good try. We're fully healed. And while we're talking about healing, let's Fragrant Flower Garden some more. So we chillin'. Downer Shock. So they're asleep, but that's going to get knocked out, likely. Could have looked at their hand too. I'm not really worried about it. There's a power plant. So kind of as I was saying, we're probably going to heal with the power plant, or heal, then play power plants. So then we could take knockouts. Like, our opponents played quite a few of these cards. Probably should have discarded both of these because I could have got them back with Brock's Grit, but like realistically, I think it's big chillin' this game. Like, I don't know if our opponent's just playing to play, but let's heal. Power plants. Let's look at their hands. Yeah, absolutely nothing that they could do. Cool. Let's go for Downer Shock. That's a knockout. And we will take the first prize of this match, even though we both played like 100,000 turns. Let's draw a prize. There's a Grass Energy. That might be nice. Probably just gonna build up this Vileplume. Maybe build up Vileplume GX. With Brock's Grit, I'm not worried. Unless they somehow discard the Brock's Grit out of our hands. What's gonna go on? Yep. See what they top decked. Or nuts. And let's hit them for 60. I'm just gonna keep it in our hand in case we can shuffle back in or something. Do we have access to extra N? We have access to no other N's. In case they shuffle us back in, I'd rather avoid decking out than not. Actually, in a particular case where I think if our opponent could somehow get proper guts flipped through about 13 turns straight, we will lose this game. So we'll see. I'm a little bit worried about that. They did get an N. Perfect. I hope that works out for them. Downer Shock. I don't know if Heads is the right one or not. Nope, Heads does not help us. It's weird that it turns sideways. There's so much coin flipping. I don't even know in which order we're flipping coins for. I know that Heracross goes sideways, knocked out, goes back, and then goes sideways again. Also, yeah. We'll see what our opponent does. I think they're going to try to avoid deck outs and try to deck us out, which is a good strategy on their behalf. I probably should have not played the Cynthia Caitlyn's the way that I did. Okay, so we did knock it out. Perfect. Those coin flips are becoming less and less understandable. I really hope that our opponent plays N and then ruins their chances of decking us out. And then they just try to go for guts flips. Perfect. So I'm not really worried about decking out at this point. There's really not much to be worried about, actually. Like, there's going to be 14 cards left in deck and our opponent has 6. So all they did was put themselves in a worse position. Now, if we get Heads here, we win in. Our Heads on Guts or Tails on Guts. Did we win? I don't think so. Yes, we won! Okay. I don't know how these coin flips work, but woo! Alrighty, everyone. That's it. As you saw, we played against some wacky stuff. Jolteon GX Tech was honestly not what I was expecting in an ADP Birds Trio deck. But it got us, and we kind of got, like, we got lucky, and then they got the right flip at the end. So, like, I don't have any complaints. That matchup it wasn't what I was expecting at all, and that's cool. If we lose against decks that we do not have a proper plan against, that is completely fine. You have to accept losses and expand it sometimes. And then going against that wacky Heracross deck that played 3 Guzmas, I don't know, like, it was cool, but it was definitely one of those things where I feel Eggrow just has such an alarmingly strong matchup against that it allowed us to win that with relative ease. So not decks that we'd expect for Dallas, unfortunately. But the decks that we do expect for Dallas typically do lose to Rao Eggs. So this list, I think it's really, really advanced. A lot of people are kind of hiding on this deck. They're like not giving the real list. This is honestly my real list, and I really hope that you guys give it a try. It's the deck that right now, if Dallas was tomorrow, I'd be taking this exact list into Dallas and trying my luck. Also, if you want to really support our channel, consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/rarecandytcg. We got some cool exclusive content on there, and everything that we do on Patreon, we sync back right into Rare Candy to produce better quality videos for all of you. And if you're looking to pick up some sweet merch, it would also help us out if you go to rarecandytcg.com. Got a bunch of cool stuff on there. As for me, I'm Zach Lesage. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLesage Pokemon. Add me on Twitter, that'd be cool. Thank you so much for watching this video, and have yourself a great one.